You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know, come on, sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Cone.
Just kidding.
You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
We live? Yeah, we live! Not wrong. Yeah. All right, love you too, baby. See you in a little bit. Bye. And now, Mike's thoughts. The Kansas City Chiefs just keep on keeping on. The Kansas City Chiefs won yet again last Sunday. Last second on another last second field goal or a single point game, as they like to say, or single score game, I should say. Many of the people are saying, hey, they got lucky yet again. The Kansas City Chiefs got lucky yet again. And then I sat back and I started thinking, let's play hypothetical theory here. Let's say that the Kansas City Chiefs would have missed that field goal last night to beat the Chargers. Let's say the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have had that goalpost there for it hit it and bounce in, and then the LA Chargers would have won that game versus the Kansas City Chiefs off of a missed field goal. Would the LA Chargers have been lucky to win that game? No, they wouldn't have, because they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't get lucky. They just played a great football game. So I got to ask this question, guys. When we look at the Kansas City Chiefs, every win they've had this season has been luck. Every single time they play a good football game and it takes a Patrick Mahomes drive to end the game, it's luck. But yet, when other teams do it, miss field goals, miss this, drive down the field, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So why is there so much Kansas City Chiefs hate out there? That is what I want to know. Why is there so much Kansas City Chiefs hate out there? Is it because they've won back-to-back Super Bowls? Is it because they have won 9 straight AFC West championships? Is it because they are just the cream of the crop and easy to hate on? That's the question. That is the question. Why is it so, what's the word I'm looking for? Trendy, viral, this to hate on the Kansas City Chiefs? It's not luck at the end of the day, guys. 1, 2, maybe 3 is luck. Sure. But 15 straight one-possession scores wins? That's just skill, baby. That's why they're the most dangerous and dominant team in the NFL. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet. Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheiser here with the Man Hour. Show to manhourradio.com. Check out the new website. The new website is out there. It is live. It is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. You click on the watch tab if you want to watch the Man Hour NFL Talk live, raw, uncut, every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. You click on the store if you want to go out there and get you some fresh merch. We got some AFC merch. We got some NFC merch. We got your team merch out there. Just go out there and check it out. Click on the merch. If you want to go to, what else is on there? We got the store tab. We got the watch tab. We got the listen tab. If you want to listen to it on podcast form, bada bing, bada boom, it's right there as well. And the explore tab takes you to our Facebook page. Nice, easy, simple, cut and dry. Cannot make it any more simpler. Because my dad's like, your website's just so confusing. I can't figure it out. Well, old man, get off your shit and figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. But it is Monday, guys. Monday, week 14 is wrapping up right now. We do have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the old mighty Cincinnati Bengals right now. If you guys would like to stream that game, you can get over to our Discord right now and you can check it out. We are streaming it live right now. So if you want to listen to the Man Hour, awesome. If you want to listen to the Discord, watch the game, awesome. It is over there. But guys, we got to talk about the Chiefs take on the Chargers. We got to talk about how dangerous the Kansas City Chiefs are. And can a team actually blow out the Kansas City Chiefs? We got to talk about that. And then we got to talk about the Rams taking on the Buffalo Bills. Are the Buffalo Bills going to be a one and done? Are the Buffalo Bills legitimately just going to be a one and done? Are they very good? Are they overrated? Or the Rams, are they underrated? That's the question. And of course, we got a little bit of fact. Mix a little bit of crap tonight. We got to talk about the Minnesota Vikings, about how they showed out 5 tutties. Sorry, I can't say tutties. Apparently, tutties makes you sound ignorant. 5 touchdowns for Sam Darnold last night. Gonna talk about that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers sliding into the 4th seed. Are they a real playoff threat? Kirk Cousins, is he gonna get benched? And Kyler Murray, what is happening? What is happening to the old Kyler Murray? Is he done? Are the Cardinals' seasons over? But before you get too great away, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got We got Mrs. Pigskin Punter herself, Laura Johnson-Hedricks in the chat. She says, good evening, Neil. And Kay's got ammonia. Poor girl's got ammonia. Take care of the daughter. Take care of the little one. Take care of the little one. And she says, nice try on the Woody Pecker and the Goofy. Me and my wife have a little inside jokes, and we always do character voices when we call each other. So it is what it is. My man Alpha Rob is in the chat over here on the YouTube page. He says Casey is so damn lucky. Alpha Rob, why are they so lucky? They are lucky because they drove down the field last night. They put a 5-minute drive together to end the game, to seal the game, and they happened to hit the upright for the field goal to go in. How is that lucky? Come on, man. Like legit, how is that lucky? I'm just saying. Alpha Rob, we all know about your 13 seconds and fame there. So, I mean, I get it. The Kansas City hate is real, but it is what it is. At this point, it is not luck. It's pure skill. My man Jim Powell, CEO of the Pigskin Pundit, says, I do not hate Andy Reid. Legitimately, how can you hate Andy Reid? If you look around the coaching landscape, you say, I hate this coach, I don't think Andy Reid would fall on anybody's radar. I'm just being honest. I don't think Andy Reid's radar would fall on anybody's. When you think about it, what coach would you hate? Think about hateful coaches. Antonio Pierce probably comes into mind. But really, there's no coach that I hate in the NFL. Nobody Chucky-wise, right? Nobody Chuck-wise. And Laura says the good old doink for the win. And Jim says doink is a skill. Let's call a fumble on a false start. Come on, man. That's a stretch to say that's good, not lucky. It's like Mr. Universe. There's always better physics, but in the last year's champ in the show, he showed he's the winner. It's not luck. I'm just saying it is not luck at the end of the day. The Kansas City Chiefs are just the real deal. Stop hating. Haters hate. And Alpha Rob says the Bills defense just had a bad game. It happens. Alpha Rob, when we talk about your Buffalo Bills coming up here on segment number 2, we will see if it actually happens. We'll see if it actually just happens or if there's a trend going to start happening. So we are going to dive deep into those Buffalo Bills tonight. So Alpha Rob, stay tuned to that. We're going to talk about your boys all night long. And Greg Michael Herrera's in the chat. That's a new name. What's up, man? He's actually a top fan and a milestone follower. So what's up? He says, look back at the Patriots dynasty. I've never met anyone who liked the Patriots in person, and that's due to the top being lonely place. But the Chiefs community is much more happy with the excitement that comes with the true underdog story. And honestly, Greg, the reason why the hate for the Kansas City Chiefs is so real and there's complete polar opposites. There's a lot of fans and there's a lot of haters. It's because of the social media age, right? Like let's just be honest. In the last two elections, the reason why there's been so much of a division in the world is because of social media, right? People hide behind their computer screens, hide behind their phone screens, and they try to stir the pot and they talk shit, right? And they just try to poke the bear. Back in the day, when the Patriots were a dynasty, you didn't have that. The only type of community that you had was talking to your friend group or talking to people at the water cooler like at work, right? This social media age that we live in makes it very, very easy to communicate your thoughts and to communicate your hate and displeasure for anybody. So social media is the main reason why I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs have so much hate this dynasty time around. Because let's just be honest. Let's say if social media was back when the Dallas Cowboys were a dynasty, right, in the 90s. Think about how much fans hate them now. Think about if we had Facebook and Twitter or X back in the 90s, what would happen? Like legit, people would probably be in bar fights every freaking day. It would be ridiculous. My man Mark D is in the chat as well. What's up, Mark? Hope you're having a grand old day, man. Hope you're feeling better. I'm feeling a little better. River's not. Trip is a little wild kid, but hey, we're all feeling better. Mark, I hope you're feeling better as well. And Laura says, lucky because a dink won that. Just sometimes the ball bounces right your way. And Jim Powell says that's not all of it. It's the favoritism shown toward them. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Here we go. Favoritism? Come on, man. Referees do their best. It matters. At the end of the day, there are no style points. There is no BCS power rankings. There is no computers. There is no AP poll, right? At the end of the day, you win and you get in. Now, if it was a beauty contest, if it was like the NCAA, if it was like high school in some states, and you get that beauty contest, right? You have to blow teams out. How many 30-point wins do you have? How many of this do you have? Talk about controversy then. Because what if we had, let's just play this crazy theory out. Let's say the NFL did have a BCS power ranking polls and the computers or voters figured out who is going to go into the playoffs, right? Let's just say this was a thing. Let's say you have the 12-1 Detroit Lions and the 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs, and they're like, who is going to play for the national championship? Ooh, right? Ooh, let's do it. And neither of those two teams won because they're struggling right now. They don't have those sexy wins. And the Minnesota Vikings slide in there because they got some sexy wins. They're must-see TV. And then a team like the Baltimore Ravens slide in there because of their 6 or 7 game winning streak that they had. And think about how much the internet would just blow up. Like, I would freaking love it. Like, it would be so much fun. But man, there'd be some people probably getting marked over that. Let's just be honest. Alpha Rob says, I think people hate Kansas City because of the refs not calling flags on them in the fourth quarter when the game is close. If you're referring to the game last night, Alpha Rob, I made a post on our Facebook page, and it was like the second quarter, and I'm like, man, the refs are really letting them play tonight. The refs are really letting them stretch the limits for the most of the night because there was holding calls not called on the Chiefs, not called on the Chargers. They were letting them play in the secondary. Patrick Mahomes was getting hit out of bounds. Justin Herbert was getting hit late, right? They were legit letting them play. So I think that is the one thing that everybody wants, Alpha Rob, is just consistency, right? And I've spoke on this many, many times. And first of all, being a referee is a very, very hard job. Being a non-biased referee at the end of the day is a very, very hard job. Not that you're going to pick one team to win or the other, but let's say there's a coach in your ear all game long and there's not one, right? All of a sudden, maybe I don't want to throw that flag. But then this ref or this coach, oh, there's the flag, right? And let's go back to Jim's comment about 5 minutes ago. I can't hate Andy Reid. That's what Jim said. And if you look at it, honestly, every time the camera points to Andy Reid, he just kind of just chilling out, right? Yeah, he barks at the refs sometimes, but I feel like they have a nice cordial conversation throughout most of the game. But when the game last night, when they were paying over to Harbaugh, he was all in the ref's ass, right? And honestly, that probably plays a lot of factor into it, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying it is, but that is just my perspective from a high school coach, and seeing that perspective. I try to treat our referee on the sideline as best as I can. Yeah, he might suck, and I may let him know that he missed a call or two. But every time he makes a call, I'm like, that is a good call, man. I'm glad you saw that. Whether it's my way or not, I'm always kissing some ass, right? Always kissing ass and making him feel like he is the strongest, biggest man in the entire world, right? And maybe that's what Andy Reid does. And maybe that's why the fourth quarter calls sometimes goes the Kansas City Chiefs' way. Or maybe, just hear me out, that the reason why we think all these calls go to Kansas City Chiefs every fourth quarter is because there's so many eyeballs on the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's look at yesterday's games. Eagles taking on the Panthers. Bryce Young makes a beautiful pass. What's the receiver's name? Leggett dropped it. He caught it, basket caught it, fell through his legs, hit the turf, right? Again, everybody's like, oh, just catch the ball. Blatantly missed a holding call on the right guard. That linebacker came flying through the Eagles. The right guard grabbed him, threw him down, picked him back up, and threw him down again. Nobody's screaming about that. Nobody's screaming about that non-call. What if the Eagles would have lost that game? What if Bryce Young would have thrown that game-winning touchdown, the receiver would have caught it, and that holding call wasn't called? Would we be throwing a fit then? No, because it's just the Eagles. It's just the Panthers. Who really cares? But the fact that it's the Kansas City Chiefs, that's what it comes down to. More eyes are on the Kansas City Chiefs. Social media hates the Kansas City Chiefs, right? There are 3 things that I can do in the social media world that will get an instant reaction every freaking time, right? Number 1, put the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. Instantly, 1,000 comments, 400 or 40 shares, 500 interactions, right? People love to hate the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, say the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, they're America's team. They're a playoff team. Super Bowl. I could be totally talking out my butt, But you put Dallas Cowboys and playoffs and Super Bowl in the same sentence, instant reaction. Why? Because there's so many eyes on the Dallas Cowboys, so many eyes on the Kansas City Chiefs. The third thing I can do right now, talk bad about the Detroit Lions. I could be praising the Detroit Lions. I could say, hey, they are the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they won't win the Super Bowl. And people be at my throats. You don't know football. You're dumb. You're ignorant. Go read the rule book and all this other stuff. That's just the way it is. When your team is good, Dallas Cowboys used to be good, right? Haven't won a Super Bowl since, 95? I get it. 96, whatever. Kansas City Chiefs, Detroit Lions. The reason why you can is eyeballs are on them. Pretty soon, Alpha Rob, the pendulum's going to start to swing, right? Let's say your team, the Buffalo Bills, let's say that pendulum starts to swing and Josh Allen finally beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs this season, and they win the Super Bowl. Everything's going high. Everything's going great. Next season, let's say they start 10-0 next season. But some calls are kind of going their way. Week 1, week 2. It's getting a little close, right? Come week 10, they squeak by a really, really good, let's say, Kansas City Chiefs team. Let's say they beat them week 10. All those eyes are going to start pointing on the Buffalo Bills. All those calls that are not in the fourth quarter be like, oh, the Buffalo Bills are cheating. The NFL is rigged for the Buffalo Bills. It's just what it is just what is easy. It is just what is easy, right? It is easy to talk down on stuff. Oh, the Detroit Lions suck. Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs suck. Oh, the Buffalo Bills suck. It is easy to talk down, right? Talking down gets those interactions. Talking down gets those people like, you're right. But if you try to praise anybody, oh, Homer, you're stupid, you're wrong, read the rule book, do this. It is what it is, right? Alpha Rob also comes back and says the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line and secondary hold a lot and is not called, especially in the fourth quarter. First of all, every offensive line holds. Every offensive line holds. I actually have the Cowboys game on right here, watching it, kind of looking around, right? I looked around during the intro song. It was the Bengals right tackle. I don't know who it is. I'll have to go back and look. Blaine as day had Parsons bear hugged. Had him bear hugged. No flag at all. Pretty damn well. Not very many holding calls. I think got maybe 2 all game. How about this in the secondary, right? When was it Puka jumped for the ball? Mar Hamlin was there a half a step early. Incomplete pass. Celebration. No flag at all. So, I mean, just to say that their defense holds a lot, their offense, everybody cheats. If you're not cheating, you're not trying in the NFL. That is what's great about sports in general, right? Especially football, especially basketball, right? In the first 2 quarters, you push your limits. You are going to see what the ref is going to call and what he's not going to call. And then you continue to push the limits more and more and more and more until he throws that flag. Then you're like, oh, okay, now I got to back off. If they're not throwing flags in the first quarter and the second quarter, you are going to see a lot more egregious in the third quarter and then the fourth quarter. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And Jim is right. Instant replay has ruined the game. Jim, you are 100% correct. Ever since instant replay became a thing, the NFL referees have gotten worse. Actually, umpiring in general has gotten worse. In college, it is so hard to watch a college game from start to finish because it takes 5 hours because they literally review every freaking play. They have literally taken the whistle out of the referee's mouth and they all watch it from upstairs in super slow-mo. Oh, shit. Was this really a catch? Was it like it's dumb. It's ridiculous. Like, Jesus. Laura says, Andy Reid was sure chewing on that gum when you seen him on TV last night. He was. I've never seen him chew gum like that. That was just crazy. Jim said, I liked Reid a lot better in Philly. He was also like 100 pounds less. Alpha Rob says, instant reaction from Kansas City fans that say Allen is better than Mahomes. And we're going to be talking about Allen versus Mahomes coming up here, Alpha Rob. So we'll see if we'll see if you are right. We will see if you are right because I'm going to clip it. I'm going to post it. It's going to be up there tomorrow. We'll see if you're right. And Laura says people like to argue these days. Keyboard warriors is what boils it down to it. Exactly. One thing that irritates the piss out of me, right? So obviously, guys, I like to push the buttons, right? I like to see what the people are doing, and I like to, is it troll, engage, whatever, right? And I could pull up my inbox on my personal page or my man-hour page, and I legit probably have 15 death threats easily in each of those inboxes. But yet, I'm a larger individual. I'm 6'3". I'm 245. And if those 5'5" people want to see me in the street, they're probably not going to say shit, right? This little device right here has given people the power to like, oh, I'm on top of the world. What is that Training Day quote? King Kong ain't got shit on me. Motherfucker, you're 5'6", 110 pounds. Shut your damn mouth, right? Like, come on. But whatever. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But guys, what we are going to go into is we're going to get into today's show. We are going to get into today's show, and we are going to be talking about those Kansas City Chiefs. We are going to be talking about how dangerous the Kansas City Chiefs actually are. So, guys, when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, right, they did beat the LA Chargers last night on a last-second field goal. They have now won 15 straight one-possession games, and they're 10-0 in one-score games so far this season. So when I ask this question, I want you to throw your bias out the door. I want you to throw your fandom out the door. I want you to throw your hatred toward the Kansas City Chiefs out the door. But I'm going to ask this question. Are the Kansas City Chiefs the most dangerous team in the NFL? Are the Kansas City Chiefs the most dangerous team in the NFL? And let's preface this by saying the most dangerous team in the NFL, saying that you do not want to play them in the playoffs. You do not want to play them in the regular season. Hell, you don't even want to play them in the Super Bowl, right? When I look at the Kansas City Chiefs and they've won 15 straight one-possession games, this tells me a lot of things, right? This tells me, one, that their defense is not going to let you get blown out. As long as you can keep it close and don't suck Patrick Mahomes for 3 quarters, we're going to keep you in this game. You can do your 2-minute magic, you can do your fourth quarter magic, and you can come back and you can win this game. By the way, Patrick Mahomes is now a 500 quarterback when trailing going into the fourth quarter. Put your head around that. That man's a winner. The second thing that this tells me about the Kansas City Chiefs is that they are battle tested. We very, very rarely see blowouts in the playoffs. Hell, I don't think I've seen a blowout in the playoffs in, like, I guess maybe last year we saw it a little bit, like when the Bucs played the Eagles. But beyond that, like, you very rarely see a blowout in the playoffs. They're always close, tight-knit games because it is the best of the best teams, right? The teams have earned their way to get there. So I'm not trying to dog the Detroit Lions by any stretch of the imagination here, but have they had any one-score game? They played the Colts one score. They have played the Vikings one score, and no, the Vikings won one score, and I thought they played another team one score. So they have 2 or 3 one-score games so far this season. When it comes to nut crunch time in the playoffs, the Kansas City Chiefs, they've been there, they've done that already 10 times this NFL season. The Lions have done it twice. Who are you going to trust in those nut crunch time situations? Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes? A guy that's 2-0 in one-possession games or a guy that's won 15 straight one-possession games? Battle-tested makes you most dangerous. Makes you not want to play this team because they're not going to panic, right? So, guys, that is a legitimate question. Are the Kansas City Chiefs the most dangerous team in the NFL? I want to be curious. I want to know what you guys think. Are they? Yes or no? And Alpha Rub says, Buck getting Beth Rich, you're stepping up and doing something right. I guess so, buddy. I guess so. Jim Powell says, too much Chiefs content. This is hard for anyone to talk about, even Chiefs fans. Is it, though? Is it? It's easy to talk about a good team, Jim. It is easy to talk about a good team. And Laura says you're stirring the pot and licking the spoon. I am. But the question is, are the Kansas City Chiefs the most dangerous team in the NFL? The answer to that question is yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's simple. Cut, dry, and to the point. And Laura says right now, I say no. That's only because I'm honestly haven't seen them actually play this season. It's like practice for them. And that's being unbiased as I don't like Kansas City. Playoffs will tell you all about the Kansas City Chiefs. And honestly, Laura, you can say the same thing about the Buffalo Bills right now. You can say the same thing about the Detroit Lions right now. Probably the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? There are 4 teams that have already locked in their playoff spots. The Bills, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Eagles, right? Those 4 teams are locked in. They can't miss the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. We're just going to see vanilla from them for the rest of the season. Basically, what it comes down to it is like who is the most healthy when it comes to playoff times, who is going to win. Because they got plenty of time to rest. They got plenty of time to just kind of get things right. But the Kansas City Chiefs are dangerous. Dangerous. But then we look at the other team on the side of that, and that is the LA Chargers. The other team that lost to the Kansas City Chiefs last night were the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers now are 8-5 on the season. They have been on the wrong side of these one-score games for the Kansas City Chiefs not once but twice so far this season. So when I ask this question, I want you guys to think logically. Think maturely, right? Can the Chargers actually compete in the AFC playoffs? Can they actually go into the playoff picture and compete, winning a game, making a division championship run? Can they actually compete? And if you look at the Chargers right now, they dropped to the 6th spot in the AFC playoff race. They do right now have a 90% chance of making it. But on the flip side of that coin, they are 1-4 versus playoff teams this season. 1-4 versus playoff games or playoff teams this season. They do have 2 games left versus playoff teams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week and then the Denver Broncos the following weeks. The LA Chargers are built to win in the playoffs. They have a really good defense, and they like to run the ball, and they like to beat you up / overpower you on both sides of the ball. However, the running backs are the issue in Los Angeles right now. I do like Gus Edwards, but he is not the workhorse like J.K. Dobbins is. I like what the Chargers are trying to do with throwing the balls to the backs, out of the backfield, but guess what? Those backs cannot catch the ball. As I do think the Chargers will be a team that you don't want to play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. This year, guys, they are not a competitive team in the playoffs. It's simple as that. They're not a competitive team. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be the 6th place seed, and they would be playing the Houston Texans. The Texans are probably going to rock all over them. Even though C.J. Stroud has not thrown a second-half touchdown since week 6, Texans are still pretty good. Do you guys think that the LA Chargers can compete in the AFC playoffs? Alpha Rob says, no, the Chargers can't. They don't have enough offense. Since J.K. Dobbins has gone down, like Alpha Rob, I think you are correct. I think since he has gone down, that has pretty much put a big wrench in what they want to do. Josh Olsen says, I think the Ravens are going to surprise a lot of people in the postseason. I don't disagree with you, Josh, but on the same level, a lot of people have the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. So the reason why we're not talking about the Ravens right now is because they are on a 2-game losing streak. Is it a 2-game losing streak? And they didn't play last week. So we will be probably talking a lot of Ravens coming up, right? And Alpha Rob says, so far they have gone cold weather teams in the playoffs. Kansas City, Buff, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. I don't know what you're trying to say there, but okay. Okay. Now let's move on to the Buffalo Bills. Let's move on to the Buffalo Bills that are kind of the Cinderella story, right? A story that everybody wants to talk about. The Buffalo Bills were kind of starting to get blown out a little bit against the LA Rams. They were down 10 points last night to the LA Rams, but they did muster a comeback. Yes, they did come back within 2 points and lost the game, but it was ultimately a 2-point game. Josh Allen has been called the MVP in the NFL by many, and right here on the Man Hour as well. And yes, he did put up another great stat night versus the LA Rams. 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. But the real question is, guys, are the Buffalo Bills a one and done in the playoffs? The Buffalo Bills, guys, shown that they are a beatable team last night. The Buffalo Bills showed that they are a team that if you stick to your guns, if you stick to your game plan, you are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. When you look at the Buffalo Bills so far this season, they are 2-2 versus playoff teams. They do have 1 game left versus a playoff team, and that is the Detroit Lions. Many people are circling that game. Super Bowl preview next week, week 15. I'm sure it's going to be much talk about all week long right here on the Man Hour. Buffalo Bills versus Detroit Lions. Who's going to win the game? Who needs the game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you look at the Buffalo Bills, they are 2-2 versus playoff teams this season, and they have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, but they've lost to the Texans and lost to the Ravens. But if the playoffs were to start today, they would be the 2nd seed, and they would be playing the 7th seed, the Denver Broncos. What do the Denver Broncos have that other teams don't? The Denver Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they run the ball well. The Broncos average 121 rushing yards on the ground on the road this season. By the way, the Buffalo Bills give up 121 rushing yards per game so far this season. Last night versus the LA Rams, the Rams, they were running the ball very, very well. Don't look at the stats. Look at the first and second quarter. They were running the ball very, very well. They were running the ball so well, in fact, that the Buffalo Bills had to bring down a safety into the box, which therefore opened up the passing game for Matthew Stafford to have a great, great night. As the Buffalo Bills do have the 8th ranked passing defense, is because most of the time so far this season they've been playing ahead. Most of the games they have played, they've had a substantial lead where the other teams are trying to pass the ball to catch up. And they really haven't played a well-balanced team yet like the Denver Broncos. And when you look into the stats even more, the Buffalo Bills have the 20th ranked 3rd down defense, only stopping the opponents 40% of the time. What do the Denver Broncos do well? They play defense. They do their keys very, very well, except for to the Baltimore Ravens. They rush the ball, they stick to their guns, and they get you out on 3rd down. Guys, it is a very, very real possibility that the Buffalo Bills could be a one and done. It is a very, very real possibility that the Buffalo Bills could bring in a very, very hungry, very, very eager Denver Broncos team into Orchard Park, into Buffalo, New York there, and they could give them a run for their money. But let's not be crazy. Let's not be crazy. The Buffalo Bills will not be a one and done in the playoffs. They certainly will not. Their best bet obviously would be to get the number 1 overall seed, and then they play a team like the Houston Texans, like maybe the Baltimore Ravens, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That would be their best bet, because I think they match up versus those teams very, very, very well. They don't match up great against the Denver Broncos, and they could definitely give them a run for their money. But they are not a one and done. They are not a one and done. No way, shape, or form are the Buffalo Bills a one and done in this year's playoffs. So what do you guys think? Are they a one and done in this year's playoffs? Potentially. Alpha Rob says the problem was yesterday the defensive line couldn't get pressure. They couldn't, which was weird, right? Von Miller's back, and Espinen, like, is that he say his name? Number 57, the left defensive end. He's a dog, and I don't understand why the Rams were having their way with you guys, honestly, right? And Laura says, not last night. Chargers not making it this year. No, Chargers are definitely not making it this year. They're not. Alpha Rob says, not a chance that they're a one and done. Not a chance. You know what else is not a chance? The LA Rams. The LA Rams were kind of counted out a couple weeks ago to make it the playoffs. Like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. But since then, the LA Rams playoff chances are been getting better and better and better. And the team as a whole is looking better and better and better. Can the LA Rams make the playoffs, guys? Can the LA Rams go out there and make some noise in the NFC playoffs this 2024 NFL season? As of right now, the Rams have a 34% chance to host a wild card game, aka win their division. They have a 1% chance of making the wild card. They have a 65% chance of missing the playoffs. This is all per the New York Times. And their 76,635 simulations that they ran through the next 4 weeks. So 1% chance of making the wild card, or 34% chance of winning the division. So with that being said, let's focus on winning the division. When you look at the NFC West as a whole, as of right now, the Seattle Seahawks hold a 1-game lead in the win column over the LA Rams. The Seahawks have the remaining schedule of the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, and the LA Rams. The Rams have the remaining schedule of the 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, and then the Seahawks to end the season. The Rams are on a 2-game winning streak, and they're playing some of the best football of the season. Matthew Stafford looked unstoppable last night. And if it happens to come down to a tie, the LA Rams do own the tiebreaker over the Seahawks. So basically, if they win one more than the Seahawks for the rest of the season, they are in. So when we look at the last 4 games for the Seahawks and the Rams, let's break it down. Seahawks versus Packers. Who is going to win that game? I like the Packers in that, liking that one. Packers are not very happy after getting beat down by the Detroit Lions on Thursday. 10 days off, they are ready. Then the Seahawks played the Vikings. The Vikings are 11-2 right now, right? They are hot. They are clicking. Everything's rolling downhill, baby. The Vikings are going to win that one, right? But then the Seahawks played the Chicago Bears. They should win that game. And then head-to-head, Rams versus Seahawks, that is a complete flip of the coin. I don't know. I legit do not know. And then the Rams play the 49ers this week, week 15. They should win that game. Even though the 49ers played one of the best games of this season last week, they're still like on their 5th string running back. They still only have 1 receiver. And it's a divisional game. Rams win that game. Then they play the Jets. They should win that game. And then they play the Cardinals. This one is a true wild card game as well. The Cardinals did beat the Rams earlier this season, but the Rams were very, very injured at that particular point. I do think the Cardinals do sweep the Rams this season. So right now, it is a head-to-head. We are tied, right? We are both sitting at 9 wins on this season. Sitting on 9 wins. Rams are in first place because they have the head-to-head tiebreaker, all coming down to week 18. Who is going to win week 18? Seahawks versus Rams. And I cannot count out Matthew Stafford. If it comes down to it, Geno Smith or Matthew Stafford, I'm taking Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams 9 times out of 10. So I think this 34% chance of winning the division, per the New York Times and their 76,635 simulations, that's a little low. Give me the LA Rams. I think the Rams are going to win the division. I think the Rams are going to go in the 4th place seed in the NFC playoff picture, and they are going to have a rematch and they're going to play the Vikings in that first round. What a story. Go completely counted out to into the playoffs and could potentially take out the Cinderella story of the Minnesota Vikings this season. Woof. So, guys, do you think that the LA Rams will make the playoffs? Yes or no? Josh says Seahawks are winning the NFC West. Words. Alpha Rob says Rams will win a playoff game at home and then go on the road and lose. Alpha Rob, I think we're on the same page. I don't think they'll win a playoff game because if they're the 4th seed, Actually, they could probably jump up to the 3rd seed, depending on what the Buccaneers and Falcons do. Let's just say for argument's sake, they are the 4th seed. The Minnesota Vikings or the Detroit Lions will be the 5th seed. Do you think that the Rams can beat the Vikings or the Lions? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, if they're the 3rd seed, they would be playing, more than likely be playing the Green Bay Packers. Can they beat the Green Bay Packers at home? Potentially. I would still take the Packers, though. I think the Packers are a true Super Bowl team. I don't. They will make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to win a game. Laura says Seahawks are going to win the NFC West, but the Rams will make it. So Laura's saying the Rams have that 1% chance of making the wild card, and they're going to take it from the Commanders. Laura is basically saying that the Commanders are going to lose out, and the Rams are going to slide on in there and say, "Who's your daddy?" And honestly, if the Rams want to make a deeper playoff run, that's probably their best bet, to go onto the road and play the Philadelphia Eagles. To go on the road and would be the Detroit Lions, right? How great would that be if the LA Rams make it into the playoffs, beat the Eagles as a wild card, right? Beat the Eagles, and then they go into Ford Field and in the divisional round and then beat the Detroit Lions. How great would that be? How great a story would that be for Matthew Stafford? I took it out the top 2 teams in the NFC. Look at me. You counted us out. We are here right now playing in the NFC Championship game versus the Dallas Cowboys. And Alpha Rob says, you trust Sam Darnold? I do not trust Sam Darnold, no. But I trust Kevin O'Connell. But I trust Aaron Jones. I trust Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, right? I trust that defense. I trust Brian Flores. I trust everybody pretty much but Sam Darnold. The Vikings are playing some good football, Alpha Rob. You cannot be sleeping on the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I know I've been kind of dogging them much of the season, but these last 2-3 weeks, they have finally said, hey, you know what? Hold my beer. Let us play some good football. Yesterday, they played some great football versus the Falcons. Let's just be honest. And I understand, it's just the Falcons. Everybody was on the Falcons nuts 6 weeks ago. Everybody was saying the Falcons were a Super Bowl team. Everybody was saying that, the Falcons are going to walk away with the South and they're going to the NFC Championship game. Who can stop them? Minnesota Vikings can. But Sam Darnold has a ball in his hand. And Sam Darnold is playing good football right now, Alpha Rob. Sam Darnold is playing good football right now. Last night, you started to see the evolution of Sam Darnold. Last night, you saw the coaching of Kevin O'Connell start to take over with Sam Darnold. He was able to roll the pocket and complete passes when he rolled the pocket. And the first time in his career, he was 5 for 5 rolling outside the pocket. He was 5 for 5 with 112 yards and a touchdown outside of the pocket on designed rollouts. Never before have we seen that from Sam Darnold. He is getting better and better each and every week. And Laura said it right there. Vikings are hot, hot, hot. Skull Nation, they are. They are hot, 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 hot. Alpha Rob says, I know that, Buck, but you know playoff football is different. And you are correct. Playoff football is different. And if I remember correctly, Sam Darnold has never started/played in a playoff football atmosphere. He has obviously been in the Super Bowl with the 49ers last season, right? And been a part of a lot of playoff wins with the San Francisco 49ers, but being a starter is totally different, right? And maybe, just maybe, Alpha Rob, hear me out. Sometimes when the lights shine brighter, people rise to the occasion. When that light shines brighter, people step up and start to ball out. Not Kirk Cousins, but other people do. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar. Almost had me. Jordan Love does it. Jared Goff does it. except for in the Super Bowl, but he does it. Maybe Sam Darnold is that guy that will rise to the occasion when the lights get bright. Maybe, just maybe, he will step up and to the moon, baby. I'm just saying. Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down, baby. Mike Tomlin. And Alpha Rob wants to be all logical here and says, or, hear me out, Cinderella hits midnight. True. You could be exactly spot on. I like Alpha Rob. Could be spot on. But let's talk about the NFL Golden Boy. Let's talk about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Last night, we obviously saw Josh Allen put up 6 touchdowns last night. The week before, he put up 5 touchdowns. He had a receiving touchdown, he had a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown all in the same game. Last night, he had 6. He has been putting up amazing stat numbers and amazing stats from top to bottom the last couple seasons, right? Patrick Mahomes is not putting up great stats. Patrick Mahomes is not the man, the myth, the legend that he once was. So when we look at Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, the NFL does have, quote, the golden boy. The NFL does, or used to have, a clear-cut golden boy, and that was Patrick freaking Mahomes. But the question is right now that I want to propose to people, has Josh Allen passed Patrick Mahomes as the NFL golden boy? And as much as Josh Allen has been putting up great stats so far this season, amazing stats, pretty much his whole NFL career, Patrick Mahomes holds every passing category advantage over Josh Allen. He has a 66 completion percentage to Josh Allen's 63%. Patrick Mahomes has 31,613 yards to Josh Allen's 25,736 yards. Passing yards average 7.8 versus Josh Allen's 7.3. Passing yards per game, Patrick Mahomes has 290 to Josh Allen's 240. Passing TDs, 239 to Josh Allen's 190. Interceptions, Patrick Mahomes only has 774 and Josh Allen has 83. How about this? The QBR, 102.2 for Patrick Mahomes and 93.3 versus Josh Allen. Now, obviously, Josh Allen dominates Patrick Mahomes in the rushing category. Damn near doubles everything that Patrick Mahomes does on the legs. Josh Allen has 4,000 rushing yards to Patrick Mahomes' 2,000. Josh Allen averages 5.5 yards per rush. Patrick Mahomes, 5.2. 62 rushing touchdowns for Josh Allen and 13 rushing touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. And fantasy points, Josh Allen has more fantasy points too. If you want to go down that route, 2,386 points to 2,363 points. But here's the key factor. Here's the reason why Patrick Mahomes will always be the NFL golden boy. Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. Josh Allen has 0. Patrick Mahomes has 6 Pro Bowls selections. Josh Allen has 2. Patrick Mahomes has 3 All-Pros to Josh Allen's 1. Patrick Mahomes has 2 AP MVPs. Josh Allen has 0. Patrick Mahomes has one AP Offensive Player of the Year award. Josh Allen has 0. And then Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl MVPs, should be 2, and Josh Allen has 0. But that is the question that I want to ask you. Has Josh Allen surpassed Patrick Mahomes as the NFL, quote, golden boy? And I am a Patrick Mahomes fan, guys. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I also like Josh Allen. I also passively root for the Buffalo Bills. When the Buffalo Bills are not playing the Kansas City Chiefs, I root for them. I'm like, yeah, let's do well, right? Let's beat the Patriots. Let's beat the Jets. Let's beat the Dolphins. Boo the Dolphins, right? I root for both of those teams. The reason why I think Josh Allen is now the NFL golden boy, the reason why I think Josh Allen has surpassed Patrick Mahomes as the NFL golden boy is because every time I see Patrick Mahomes get sacked or hit a little late or maybe hit a little yard hard or doesn't quite get the call down the field. He always seems to be complaining. Always has like, well, why, right? Now, Josh Allen does do that from time to time. You'll say, hey, where is the call, right? But you do not consistently see Josh Allen, why, ref, right? Oh, like, the reason why I think Josh Allen is now the NFL golden boy is because every player, I think, wants to be like Josh Allen. He is big. He is physical. He throws the ball well. He runs the ball well. He does things the right way. And we don't see him whining every freaking play. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I see Patrick Mahomes whine each and every play. And that's no exaggeration. Just sit down there, watch the go to NFL.com, buy the premium position subscription. It's $6.99 a month or whatever it is. And you can watch the all 22 angles from the game, right? They sync them all together. So you get the press box view, and then you get the back of the angle view. Watch Patrick Mahomes. Don't watch anybody else. Just watch Patrick Mahomes in between plays. He's always whining. He's always has his hands up. He's always complaining. Always. Now, I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is not good. I'm saying they're both top tier. And I also am going to say that if it's nut crunch time, 2 minutes left, my team is down by 4, and I need a touchdown, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes 9 out of 10 times. That's just the way it is. But if you want a poster child of the league, if you want this guy is what kids look up to, what everybody wants to strive to be like, it's got to be Josh Allen. It's got to be. So who do you guys think? Who is the NFL golden boy? Is it Josh Allen or is it Patrick Mahomes? And Laura says, I am choosing Josh all day, every day, and I'm a Kansas City Chiefs hater. Alpha Rob says, if Allen had Chris Jones, he'd win a Super Bowl and should have won MVP last season instead of Lamar Jackson. He should have. Definitely, I think the MVP is a very biased and motivated award. You can take that motivation to whatever realms you want. I'm sure we're thinking in the right direction, but I think the MVP is a motivated award, and they are trying to put they're trying to implant this. Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. Do not get it twisted. He's a good quarterback, but they're trying to implant this vision of a poster child in our minds by giving Lamar Jackson all these MVPs. He puts up the numbers. Yes, he does. He is a good quarterback. What? He has like 2 interceptions so far this season, right? He is playing good football. He does good things in the community. I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky. He buys, I believe it's bags for the Jefferson County School District every year, right? Millions upon millions of dollars worth of book bags every year from Lamar Jackson. He's a great guy too. But I think Josh Allen is just what everybody's going to strive to be in the future. Josh Olson says no, but both quarterbacks makes play and does things no matter what no other quarterback can do. So Josh is saying, as a Chiefs fan, Josh, let's just put that parenthesis on there. He's saying Patrick Mahomes is still the NFL golden boy. And I can see why you're saying that, Josh, and I would agree with you, right? He has won 3 Super Bowls. He has gone back-to-back. He is doing things the right way. He is a family man. He has a wife and 2 kids. I think he has 1 on the way, right? They are putting money into the community, right? Buying a soccer team, starting a women's soccer team, the baseball team, right? He's investing into his community and doing things the right way. Like, I get it. But I feel with Josh Allen, if he was in a larger city, a larger market, he'd probably be doing the same thing. And the reason why I know Patrick Mahomes does that is because I am connected with the Kansas City Chiefs community still, or the Kansas City community still. I see it, right? Alpha Rob says Allen is the most feared quarterback in the league, and it doesn't matter if you're feared or not. It is like if I put your picture up on something, is it going to sell, right? I mean, that is what the golden boy is, right? And if you think about this, Patrick Mahomes has his own brand with Adidas, right? He has the Patrick Mahomes brand. My wife just brought me a Prime bottle that has Patrick Mahomes' little logo on it, and it's signature. I'm probably going to put it back up here on the wall. Patrick Mahomes' signature is now the jersey sponsor for Texas Tech, right? I don't know. This could go back many ways. Alpha Rob says, remember last year Patrick Mahomes was crying to the rest when receivers, players in general will push the gray area, right? They'll push the limits until the referee throws the flag. And looking back on that, obviously Patrick Mahomes was very, very, very wrong. It was Tony, right? Definitely a yard off sides, 100%. Should not have been whining about it. But on the other hand, the referee normally says, hey, you're pushing the limit back up a little bit. So we'll worry about that for another day. Laura says, you are right. Mahomes does cry a lot for flags when he takes hits. And honestly, Laura, I don't think that's him. Well, it is his personality, right? But the NFL as a whole has shaped it to make it that way, right? The NFL is saying, hey, you touched a quarterback, you're going to get a flag. And if he knows the rules and he wants to call, like, it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. Alpha Rob, to the media, Mahomes is the golden boy. Is it because he's in a larger market? Let's say what if Josh Allen was doing Josh Allen things? Let's say you take all of his stats, what they're 10-2 or whatever it is. You take all of that and you put it on a big market team. You put it on a team like the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just say that. Josh Allen is doing Josh Allen things. 6 touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys tonight on Monday Night Football. We would be talking about that for 17 more days. Do you guys remember back on December 9th at 11 o'clock when Josh Allen rushed for his 3rd touchdown in a game? Honestly, Alpha Rob, I think it's because he's in Buffalo. I think that's the only reason why. It's because he is in Buffalo. All right, guys, so it is time. Hour number 2. Hour number 2 here on this beautiful Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's get a little music here. I feel like we're getting a little monotonous tonight. Getting a little monotonous. Let's bring that energy back. Let's reel it back in. And let's get into hour number 2 here on Man Hour, guys. We are live, raw, uncut, every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. If you guys would like to, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. This is a live, interactive show. I see all of your comments. I see all of everything that is going on. So do it. Do it. Share this with a couple of friends. Like, comment, and subscribe. But coming into hour number 2, guys, we always do a little thing different. We do a little thing called a little bit of fact mixed in with a little bit of crap. And let's start with a little bit of fact, a little bit of crap. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, guys, right now are playing high. They are showed out last night versus the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. The defense held the Falcons just to 21 points, and the offense put up 42 points. The Falcons are smoking hot right now, as Laura likes to say. But guys, fact or crap, will the Minnesota Vikings be a one playoff game one and done? Will they be one and done in this year's 2024 NFL playoffs? So as you guys know, Sam Darnold threw for 5 touchdowns last night versus the Atlanta Falcons. 5. He was 5 for 5 with 112 yards outside the pocket, which is a season high, with a touchdown. Jordan Addison 8 last night. JJ 8 last night. And the Minnesota Vikings are one of the hottest teams in the NFC. Unfortunately, they are overshadowed by the Eagles and the Detroit Lions right now. But they are currently on a 6-game winning streak. They play the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football next week. And then they play the Seahawks, Packers, and Lions to end the season. It's a very, very real possibility that they will go 10 games in a row. Very, very real possibility. And if they happen to go those 10 games in a row, and with a little bit of help from the Buffalo Bills, they could get the first overall seed in the NFC playoff race. So when I look at this and I think about this logically, let's say everything holds face. Everything holds face and the Eagles continue to win. The Lions continue to win. And then the Vikings continue to win, but then they lose the Week 18 game versus the Detroit Lions. They become the 5th seed in the NFC playoff picture. They will, in theory, if the playoffs were to start today, they will be playing the Seattle Seahawks. They have played a team like the Seattle Seahawks earlier this season. A team that is very, very bipolar. You don't know who they're going to get, right? And that team is the one and only Atlanta Falcons. They beat down the Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks and Falcons are kind of yin and yang. I think they are both the same. But when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, guys, are they going to be a one and done in the playoffs? I want to count them out because of what Alpha Rob said earlier. Sam Darnold is still your quarterback. Sam Darnold has no playoff experience. Hell, Kevin O'Connell has very, very little playoff experience. And truth be told, we talk about teams that need to lose. The Lions, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, to reset, to really calibrate themselves going into the playoffs. But truth be told, if the Vikings lose a game, it could be disastrous for them moving forward. Because who do you want to lose to? Do you want to lose to the Chicago Bears? Hell no. Do you want to lose at Seattle the following week? Hell no. Potential playoff matchup, right? Do you want to lose to the Packers? Definitely no. Do you want to lose to the Lions at Detroit? Hell no. So the Vikings, I feel, guys, they're going to be playing balls out the rest of the way out. If the Buffalo Bills beat the Detroit Lions, you better damn well know they'll be playing balls out 100%. To the window, to the wall. To the collapse falls down my balls. Guys, I think the Minnesota Vikings will be a one and done in the playoffs. I think this is a fact. I think this is a fact just because the NFC playoffs are kind of pretty tough. They're pretty tough. If you get the number 1 overall seed, you might be a little bit tired. That bye is going to be great, but you're going to be 10 games in a row. Winning 10 games in a row is tough for anybody, right? It is very, very, very tough. Look at the Detroit Lions. They're starting to get a little sluggish, get a little tired. Hell, the Buffalo Bills won what? 8 games in a row. Got a little sluggish, got a little tired. It is what it is. If they get the first overall seed, by default, they would probably be playing, let's say, if everything holds face, they would be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the divisional round. Lions versus Eagles, and then Vikings versus Bucks. You don't want to mess with the Buccaneers. I think it's a fact. What do you guys think? Fact or crap? Will the Minnesota Vikings be a one and done in this year's NFC playoff picture? Alpha Rob says fact. He says it is a fact. It is 100% fact, Alpha Rob. I think we're on the same wavelength, bro. I see it. And as much as I talked up Sam Darnold earlier, I think the ultimate collapse is going to become of Sam Darnold. No playoff experience versus players, teams that do have playoff experience, right? I've said this to my coaching staff before. We have to know how to lose before we can know how to learn how to win. That's why we've never won a championship, because we haven't been there and we haven't really done it before, right? Laura says, I think the Vikings will make it to the second round and then collapse, unfortunately. Skull for whatever happens for the rest of the season. So she thinks they're going to win a playoff game. And she says, crap, Buck. Crap on Buck, she says. Well, crap on you too. And Josh also says, I'm not sure, but Sam Darnold is my favorite player on the Vikings. Really? I mean, he is probably the most rootable person for, right? Him and TJ Hawkinson are probably the most rootable players on the Vikings, just because they have been through the struggles and trials and tribulations, right? Sam Darnold got cut from the Jets, picked up by the Panthers, cut from the Panthers, went to the 49ers, didn't get a new deal, went to the Vikings. Definitely a very, very rootable person, right? And I could see that. But the question is factor crap. Will the Minnesota Vikings be a one and done in the playoffs? And I think, and I'm with Alpha Rob, I think it is a fact. I think it is a fact. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team, woo, slow it down, baby. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have overtaken the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South to sit at the 4th seed in the NFC playoffs now. They are probably one of the most dangerous teams in my eyes if they were to make the playoffs. But like I said, as of right now, they're sitting at the 4th seed at a 7-6 record and first in the NFC South. So guys, fact or crap, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will they upset the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs? So when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is a team that was kind of left for dead, right? They lost to the Ravens, lost to the Falcons, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the 49ers. 4 straight losses. They're like, this season's over. Mike Evans was hurt at that time. Chris Godwin was out for the season. Bucky Irving was battling some type of injury. The defense was really, really banged up as well. But bye week was very, very kind to them. Bye week got their players right. Bye week got everybody's mental mindset set. They still have Baker freaking Mayfield. Since then, they have won 3 games in a row. They dominated the New York Football Giants at MetLife Stadium. They held on in overtime versus the Carolina Panthers. Do not sleep on the Carolina Panthers. They're a very, very good team since Bryce Young has been benched. Yes, they've lost 3 or 4 in a row, but they've been battling, right? And then they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. A Raiders team that, it's the Raiders at the end of the day, right? They're not very, very, very good. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Chargers this week at LA. And then they're at Dallas, Panthers, and Saints to end the season. All very, very winnable games. So when I ask the question, fact or crap, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers upset the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs? First things first is they have to win a wild card game, right? If they're going to win the NFC South, they have to win that wild card matchup. Right now, they're in fourth place as of right now in the NFC playoff picture. They will be playing the Minnesota Vikings if it were to start today. I like Baker Mayfield over the Minnesota Vikings. Let's call a spade a spade. I like Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Minnesota Vikings at home. Then they would play the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles, whoever gets that number 1 seed in that first divisional round game, barring any upsets. Let's say there is an upset. Let's say the Packers beat the who would be the 3rd seed? The Seattle Seahawks. Let's say the Commanders beat the Eagles. Let's just say that happens. Then they wouldn't play each other till the championship round. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Lions or the Eagles in the divisional round, they will upset one of those teams. I think that is a fact. I think if they play in the divisional round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very real chance to upset the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round. Now, if it's a championship round, I don't think so. So there's kind of the waffling. There's kind of the asterisk by this, right? If they play in the divisional round, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if it's championship round, the Detroit Lions or the Eagles, give me the Detroit Lions or the Eagles in the championship round. The reason being is because once you get that 1 win under your belt, being the number 1 overall seed, it's a very, very easy to get going, right? Alpha Rob says a team the Eagles definitely don't want to see. They already beat them once this season. Hell, the Bucs beat the Lions too. Do the Lions really want to see the Bucs? That's the real question. That was the one time that I think the Detroit Lions really did not have any answer for any team out there, right? All game long, they're kind of like, what do we do? And that's when they were 100% healthy. Now they got 15 guys on the freaking IR. So, now for all like fact, it will happen. Fact, it will happen. They will upset the Eagles and or the Detroit Lions. Ooh. And Alpha Rob, let me take this one step further. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Lions or the Eagles in the divisional round, they are probably going to go to the Super Bowl. Confidence is killer. You get a little confidence. Hey, we just knocked off the top team in the NFC. Eagles, who are you? Psh. Commanders, who are you? Psh. Get out of here. Right? And Laura says, whoa, slow it down, baby. Mayfield isn't going anywhere this year. And I'm not a hater either. She actually loves Baker Mayfield. And Josh Olsen says, I think the Bucs will lose in the first round. And Josh, I could probably get behind that too. Right? Because we just spoke about the Vikings winning. They could very well win 10 games in a row to end the season and be tired and be wore out, right? If the Buccaneers make it into the playoffs, which they will probably have won 7 or 8 games in a row. The only loss I could potentially see is to the Chargers, honestly. They should handle the Cowboys, should handle the Panthers, should handle the Saints. So, you might be right. Fact or crap, guys. Fact or crap. The next fact or crap of the day, Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this season. That's right, guys. One of the worst. He has a 56 QBR, 17 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, and 17 total turnovers, which is worse in the NFL. They are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Guys, fact or crap, should Michael Penix Jr. start next week for the Atlanta Falcons? And I misspoke, they're on a 4-game losing streak. Guys, Kirk Cousins has been a shell of himself since that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game 5 weeks ago. Let's just be flat honest. When he put up that 500 yards on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he has been a shell of himself ever since. He was swag surfing, doing his thing, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Then the Dallas Cowboys come into town. He struggled against the Cowboys. A terrible Dallas Cowboys team at that particular point. They had everybody on defense was injured. I think they still had Dak Prescott at the time, but the Dallas Cowboys were not very, very good. Let's just be honest. Since then, they lost to the Saints. They got blown out by the Broncos, lost to the Chargers, blown out by the Falcons, or by the Vikings. They play the Raiders, Giants, Commanders, and Panthers to end the season. Guys, it is a very, very real possibility that the Falcons will lose 8 games in a row. It's a very, very real possibility that the Falcons could be America's sweetheart team, 6-3, Super Bowl bound, looking amazing. Oh, Kirk Cousins, praise us, baby, with your jizz in her face, and then lose 8 games in a row. The only reason why I think Michael Penix Jr. has not started yet is because the Falcons wanted Kirk Cousins to play versus his old team. I think that's the only reason why he has not been benched yet. Now, the Minnesota Viking game is over. It's over. And I know Raheem Morris has said, Kirk Cousins is our quarterback moving forward. There is no chance of him getting benched, right? That's all coach talk. Why would you say that in public? Like, oh, yeah, we're going to bench Kirk Cousins. And no. You put confidence in your old vet. Michael Penix Jr., know your role. But, hey, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, Michael Penix Jr. could be, let's just be flat out honest. ESPN game. Atlanta Falcons at the Las Vegas Raiders. December 16th. Monday Night Football. Crumble yet again during primetime game. It is a very, very real possibility that we see Kirk Cousins throw 3 interceptions in the first half versus the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. It is a very, very real possibility that we see Michael Penix Jr. come in at halftime and muster a comeback and beat the Las Vegas Raiders to give them their 8th straight loss, like I said that was going to happen earlier this summer, and you all laugh at me. It's a very, very real possibility that we see Michael Penix Jr. this game versus Las Vegas Raiders, guys. This is a fact. This is a fact. Because if the Falcons do not beat the Raiders, their playoff chances are over. Let's just be honest. If the Falcons lose to the Raiders and Kirk Cousins sucks, their playoff chances are over. Hell, I have more faith in the Carolina Panthers at that point making the playoffs than the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's a fact. I think it is a fact that he will, in doubt, start this season. What do you guys think? Laura says, sit Cousins down. Give him a bikini and a blanket and send him packing. I'm so thankful Minnesota did not pay him what he wanted. So, Laura, why did Minnesota Vikings fans boo him? If you guys are so happy he is not on your team, why do you guys boo him? I'm just curious. Alpha Rob says, I didn't think he hasn't been benched because they still in the hunt, I think. And you are correct, Alpha Rob. They are still technically in the hunt, right? They do have the tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they swept them earlier this season. They do have a very real potential chance to make the playoffs. And I'm pulling up the analytics right now with the percentages, and the Atlanta Falcons right now have a 38% chance of making the playoffs. 38% chance, with the Bucs sitting at a 71% chance. So even if basically the Falcons have to win out for them to make the playoffs. They need a 9-10 win season for them to make the playoffs. And I don't see that happening right now. So basically, once they lose to the Raiders, or if they lose to the Raiders, why not put the kid in, right? Laura says, send Penix Jr. in and watch the kid take control of a bad situation. You know what would be funny? Like, first things first is I want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to make the playoffs. I like Baker. I like what he's doing down there. But what would be hilarious is if Kirk Cousins shits the bed in the first half versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football next week. Insert Michael Penix Jr. Leads them into a comeback, right? And then the following week, when they play the New York Giants at home, beat the Giants. And then they go to Washington, D.C. and take on the Commanders. And they beat the Commanders. All of a sudden, they're back in first place in the NFC South. All of a sudden, they're clicking. All of a sudden, they're doing good things, right? Michael Penix Jr. jams his thumb or something crazy. He gets hurt. Can't play against the Panthers. Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins to miss the playoffs. Wouldn't that be the most Atlanta thing ever? Laura says, isn't next Monday the Vikings and Bears? I believe it's Minnesota Whiteout game. I think they got 2 games on Monday night next week, Laura. I could be wrong, but let me look it up. But the Falcons and Raiders definitely do play on Monday night. So yes, it is a 2 Monday night game. So the Vikings and Bears is on ABC, and then the Raiders and Falcons are on ESPN. So it is a 2 Monday night game next week. So there's that. And Laura says, I can't tell you why they booed him. Vikings fans were supposed to be bigger person, and they're not to boo. It is what it is. It is what it is. But guys, that is going to be it for tonight. Losing a little bit of energy, losing a little bit of steam, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's live, raw, uncut and NFL talk. I did not pull up the shorts chat today, guys. Apologies. So Tedrick Webb, shout out. Dev, shout out. And the College Football Network, shout out to you as well. Sorry, guys, about that. But we'll be back tomorrow, live, raw, uncut, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Friday, we may not be here. Little man's birthday. May not be here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear. We're going bowling. Till then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. We out.